Welcome to another episode of The
The
Fuzzy
Fuzzy Pod.
We're glad you're still here with us.
I can't believe it. Oh my gosh.
Uh,
We've done this many episodes already.
yeah, my goodness. We're doing the thing.
I'm so excited for today's episode.
Oh,
Maddie, would you like just to
stoked.
paint a picture for
Let me
us?
set the scene for
Okay.
you. The year is 2005 and you're booting up your PC.
Mm.
You're going online
On interweb.
on the interweb and you're typing in the browser clubpenguin.com or webkinz.com.
One or the other.
One or the other. And you're going online. You're going to meet your friends. You're going to hang out.
In an online virtual chat as a tiny animal.
What's better than that? Honestly, take me back.
But before we get to the era of online games, we are going to be talking about where it all began, where our love for gaming was truly began, where
Yeah.
it was born. And that was with a bribe.
Which I think the reason we wanted to talk about this topic is because you and I both have just over the history of our lives have just really, like, video games have become like a big
A
part
huge part of our lives. Yeah,
And so
both of us stream on Twitch now with our
Yeah.
each respectively separately with each of our husbands.
Mhm.
So I stream with Cooper.
And I stream with Ted.
It's just like it's nothing like new within the last 5 years, and it's actually been a part of our lives, like video games have, since we were like
Since we were young.
tiny. I mean, we're still very tiny because, as we learned, the tallest
not very
person in our
tall.
family is 5'4". But when we were just like very young, we were introduced to video games, and I feel like that love has just like grown into something that, has become a part of both of our like daily lives,
Yeah.
either via streaming or relaxation through video games. But we're going to be talking all about like where those roots began, and specifically the
It all
online
started-
games.
Yeah, it all started with you though.
But it started with the bribe. So let's get to the bribe. Around 4 or 5 years old.
I was 10. No, I'm just kidding.
Maddie was 10.
No, I'm joking.
I was 10.
Yeah.
That's going to be the joke from now on. I was 10.
Megan was 10.
No, it was I was 10. The way my math was so wrong. My brain could not
You
compute.
recognized that your math was wrong.
I knew
okay,
it was
okay.
in the moment. I just kept going with it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I was
okay,
just
so
like,
I was
at
just
a certain-
throwing you under the bus.
At a certain
Cool.
point, I would just kept going because I was just like, because I was just the way I was so convinced I was 10, and it was like my brain could not compute like that memory being at a different age. But if you know, you know. Go listen to our episode 2. But it all started with a bribe with my parents because I was around 4 or 5 years old, and at that age, I guess I kept sneaking into their bedroom late at night, which now, like, being an adult, I don't have kids. I have dogs. But, like, they probably were like, bro, we need our privacy. And we don't need our 4 or 5 year old just, like, running in here whenever. That could be terrifying for everyone involved.
Yeah.
So
Our parents were very, like some parents are like, oh, yeah, like, we co-sleep. Like, we're fine, like, having our kid in bed with us, like, all the time.
It was great.
But our parents were like, no, you will not. You have your own bed. Like,
You have your own bed. You have a nightmare? Okay, I'll come, like, check on you. But then you gotta stay.
but then you got to stay.
Stay. Good kid.
Which I respect, because having a dog that sleeps in my bed, like our dog sleeps in our bed,
Mhm.
and he absolutely must sleep in between us.
Oh, he's
So,
the king of the bed.
Yeah.
He spreads out
He's
like
like,
everywhere.
he's like, I have to be in between you. There's no other place for me, and that's that.
That was probably part of it too. They were
Yeah.
like, we want our room. We
Yeah.
want our space. But so I guess, like, you know, sometimes I got in this habit, I guess, where, like, after they say goodnight, Megan, mwah, I would sneak back into their room. And so they're like, we got to stop this. So how do they do that? With a bribe. They said it had worked once before, by the way, with potty training. So I think that's why they brought it back.
Yeah.
I got a really sick train set because I went on the big toilet, big potty.
Big toy.
The big toy. The big toilet.
I never got any bribes.
Maybe they just had me talk to you as the older sister or something.
That's stupid.
They probably tried
I
that
didn't
first.
get anything good.
They're like, go talk with her.
I'm just kidding.
Go convince her.
Okay, so
I'm like,
so
this
your
toilet
bribe.
rules. That
This
little plastic
toilet
one?
rules.
Nah, man, it's not it.
That's not where it's at.
Nah. See that thing? You can, like, yeah, okay. This is the episode talking about potty training and toilets. They bribed me with none other than an N64.
Let's go.
Oh, I got to keep this thing in my bedroom as a kid. It was iconic. I think I started off with just 2 basic games though, and that was Super Mario 64 and Mario
Beautiful.
Kart 64.
Beautiful.
2 classics. I immediately was entranced with the Super Mario 64 world.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar with that game, I think it came out maybe in 95 or something like that. Oh my gosh, that's so long ago. And it still holds up. There's really awesome this is getting really into the weeds, but there's a speed running community around this game. And if you don't know what speed running is, it's basically what it sounds like. People completing a game in record
crazy
time.
amount. Yeah, it'd
doing
be so quick.
using these loopholes that they
And
learned in the
tricks
game
and
and
hacks,
tricks.
yeah.
It's insane to go watch a speedrun on Super Mario 64 for even a minute. Even if you don't love video games or understand them, you'll understand enough to be like, whoa,
What did I just see?
what did I just see? That's impressive. But Super Mario 64 was just oh my gosh, there's a whole world to explore here.
Yeah.
As you hopped into different paintings and you collected stars and
So good.
you fought Bowser, and it was just
Browser, as we call it.
Browser, and the music.
The music.
The music
It is so
in the
good.
games was so good. So that was my first introduction to video games was through an N64. And I remember thinking, I was so good at video games. I don't know.
Correct.
I'm cracked. I beat everyone in Mario Kart. That was until I met Cooper in my 20s and I realized everyone I was playing against was really bad.
Wow.
But what was your first experience with a video game in general? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was definitely the N64 as well. And we would play Mario Kart together, except for I technically wasn't playing. Because
That's my bad.
Megan wouldn't actually plug in my controller.
You were 4 years younger than me.
So here I am, thinking I'm cracked, thinking I'm playing so well.
I'm like, watch Yoshi. That's you. That one's you.
So tragic. My God. I could have been so good.
I could have trained you.
You could have trained me, yeah.
Oh
Just
my
think
gosh.
think of the possibilities.
Oh my gosh. You could have just literally been in esports and been
know.
cracked.
Exactly. But anyways, I was stunted. Just kidding.
I didn't coach her.
Oh, I'll never let that go. I'll never let Megan live that down that she didn't plug in my controller.
Technically, I think it was plugged in. I just didn't. I just chose,
You didn't
one
select.
player. I didn't select 2 players.
2 players. Whatever.
So I didn't it wasn't an entire lie. You were plugged in.
It was a complete lie. Don't try to get out of it. Don't try to get out of it. But yeah, so that was eventually you did let me play with you. And so yeah.
Mario Kart was your first
Mario Kart was probably my first memory of video games. And us playing the
Game Boy Color?
No. Oh, but that, yeah. I was telling Ted about on the Game Boy Color, which is a little handheld, I don't know, video game console. There was this game that I would play that it was like an M&M factory, like the candy.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Dude, did that come with a pack of M&Ms?
I don't know. I swear it did. It was the most garbage game, but I loved it.
Of course it was. It was made by M&Ms.
Oh my God, so good.
But the Super Mario Bros. Games were so fun. And you had to this was back when oh my gosh, when you you open up your phone, it's it's backlit for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Game Boy
That was
Color,
not a thing.
That was not a thing.
Yeah.
You had to have an accessory.
There was a light.
If it was dark out,
Yeah.
put a light on. So
Almost
you
like
can,
a reading
see.
light.
Yes.
Yeah.
And mine was I'm pretty sure a snake head. It was a little snake, and you put it on. And mine, I had the clear purple Game Boy Color, which I actually still own, and I still have a few of the games. I might have that M&M game. I'm not even joking. We should check.
No, you probably do. Yeah.
I don't think I got rid of any of the games.
Yeah. I still have my Game Boy Advance or whatever. What was it?
The SP or the Advance?
Yeah. No, the SP. I
The
think.
flippy one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think
Yeah.
we had Advances, but
No,
we had
didn't.
the SPs.
We had the SPs.
I have mine too. The red one.
Yeah.
You had a blue one.
No. Mine was red. I had the red one.
Mine was red.
No, you had a black one.
What? I have a red one here. Is that yours? I could have swore in my life I had a red one. Do you want the SP back?
You have my SP. No, I was kidding.
I'm pretty sure it's mine.
I'll have to check my storage, but I know I have. I thought I had the
Maybe
red
we
one.
both had red SPs. Who knows? Maybe we were
Come for me. I'm just kidding.
maybe one of us was I like that color too. Because classic sister.
The only reason I think that I had the red one is because I was in my I want everything to be red era. Because everything that I had device wise was red.
If I could have, everything would have been pink. But
Yeah.
there wasn't a ton of like, there still isn't. Maybe I'm speaking. This is not the correct thing to say that there isn't pink consoles, but I don't think there's that many.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I can't think
like
of
handheld.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the DS, they made a pink DS.
That's true. I do have a pink DS.
Yeah.
That's probably like one of the first iterations.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of because my DS is red. My 3DS is red.
We had a lot of handhelds. Mom and Dad were just trying to, maybe they're bribing us left and right. They're like, here you go.
Well, that's
There
what.
you go.
So going back to like
Merry Christmas.
us like games being a part of our lives, like every year, like not every year, but like whenever there was like a new console, like that's what we were asking for Christmas. Like we did really enjoy video games. Like even up until like I was in college. Like I remember when the Switch first came out, and I was like, I want a Switch. Like, that was just like,
oh, like immediately.
Yeah.
Like our love for like video games has evolved, and I think we've talked about this. Eventually, I don't think that this is like the focus of today's episode, but we do want to talk about kind of like the importance of gaming.
Yeah.
And the history behind it and what it means for us, because I do think that there's kind of like, I'm not saying like this is a very blanket statement to make, but kind of like this attitude around gaming that only people that are lazy do it, or like, you know, that it's just like a waste of time. And I feel like there's just so much more to that. There's so much community around it. It involves a lot of like motor skills, and it brings people together in really cool ways, and it's a fun way to connect. And I think that would be fun to kind of
dive into more.
Yeah, delve into.
Definitely. I think we definitely will do that just because it's such a big part of our lives. But yeah, so we've always just really like loved them. And I think like going from like the N64, and then our parents got us like little, like I don't want to say gaming PCs, but like
we did have had little PCs, and they were right next to each other, and they were in a common area so that Mom and Dad could keep an eye on whatever was going on our computers. And honestly, they didn't have much to worry about because the majority of the time it was either AIM, which, oh my gosh, we don't even have time for that.
We don't have time for that. Zoo Tycoon.
Zoo Tycoon, or like Roller Coaster Tycoon, like the little ROM games.
Yeah. Or like we
started things
hinted towards earlier. Started things off with Webkinz or Club Penguin.
Oh, the amount of hours that we would spend after like getting schoolwork done and just like immediately
immersing ourselves,
logging in, and then
hanging out with our friends, hanging out with our community.
Oh my gosh, it was. Where do we begin? Because I think we got to start with Webkinz.
100%,
maybe.
So they both came out the same year. So they both came out in 2005. And I remember I was the one that got into Webkinz first because I actually had a friend in like my elementary school who gifted me a Webkinz. Like it was like a cute little golden retriever dog.
Wait, hold that thought. Keep talking.
Oh, a cute little golden retriever dog that I was like, oh my gosh, like what is this thing? And wait, that's not, is that him? This literally might be him. Ah! $9.99. Is
that him?
I thought he was like all golden. So Megan just pulled out, she apparently has this mystery drawer full of Webkinz. So if you're watching the video on YouTube, you will see what the Webkinz look like if you're unfamiliar. So it's literally, just look at this thing. And so I had a friend who gave me this little stuffed animal, and it comes with a little tag on its arm. And are you kidding me? This one was one of my favorites. It's a koala bear. Like, these things are so cute. And they come with little tags, and you basically log into the website. There's a unique code to your animal. And then you punch it in to your account, and then you get a little virtual version of these little, look at these things. Are you kidding me? Like, this is just like the sweetest thing. Also, I'm learning that these were actually not that expensive.
How much were they?
The tags say $9.95.
Please.
This thing was $10, and you would get a virtual one, and it was like a whole online experience.
No, the Hippo was $13. It's a mini too.
So, okay, so they made like regular sized ones, and then mini
more
ones.
Expensive over time. I spent so much of my allowance. And from my little gigs, I would like teach piano lessons. I'd babysit. All that babysitting money, all those piano lesson money would go to Webkinz.
This is embarrassing, you guys. We counted them one time.
Was it 40?
No, it was more than that.
No, it was not.
Yes, it was.
How much of our own? We should have been investing in stocks in 5th grade. In Apple stocks.
It was like 80.
That's why I can't get rid of them. Because
what are we going to do with these?
But
look how cute. These ones are my favorite.
I brought this one out because this was
We have to talk about it.
Okay, so in my hand, I am holding a Webkinz that was called a
Google.
A Google. A Google is kind of like a platypus, except for it doesn't have a tail. It's literally just shaped like...
Just Google it.
Like?
Google the Google. Type
Google
in
from Webkinz.
Webkinz Google.
It's an awkward duck with no feather wings. It's a duck with no wings and no tail feather.
It's a winky.
It's a winky? Are you saying he looks like a peen?
Yes, of course he looks like a peen.
He doesn't look like a peen. Does he look phallic to you?
He's a sack.
Please.
Are you memeing me right now?
I'm not. I'm being genuine. I usually would be the first to think something like that too.
You keep tucking in his feet, tucking his little feet, and look at him and tell me that's not a winky.
Please.
Look at the picture. Look at the online photo of him. It's a winky.
Wait, you're so right.
And they made a pink one too.
Not the pink one?
Yes.
No. Oh, they probably just come in different colors. Okay, anyways, this is a Google and I have a hippo with me. But Webkinz, like Madison said, we're going to move on very quickly from this.
Whenever I got my first one, I logged onto the website, I punched in the code, and there populated my little dog on the screen. And what you could do with these dolls is they literally had like, you would have your own house that you could build rooms for each of your animals, and they all had their own like themed furniture. They also
cute.
had like mini games that you could play.
Yes. Do you remember the one, the wishing well?
Yeah. They had so many fun games.
Okay, the reason I bring up the wishing well is, were they teaching us gambling?
100%.
It was like a slot machine.
Yeah, but think about like Chuck E. Cheese. Like when you go to Chuck E. Cheese,
they're teaching us gambling.
gambling.
They're teaching us gambling.
Yeah. So there was so many fun games, and then you could like hang out with your friends too, like your friends in real life. Like
We watched as the game
grew.
evolved and grew, and as they added more games, and when they added the online chat for the first time, it was called the
Clubhouse.
The Clubhouse, and you could like actually type and interact with people as like your animal that you were.
Yeah.
So you'd be like a little dog, and you'd be like, "What's up?" and they'd be like, "F you," and you'd be like, "Oh," and then next they disappear because they got banned.
Yeah. They were pretty on it, honestly.
Yeah.
They really were.
But now I logged in recently just to check things out, and I can't believe I still have access and remember all that. The Clubhouse, like you can only have like pre-scripted things.
Yeah,
you
they
can say,
changed that. I
which
remember
makes sense because that'd be like a creepy place for people to hang out like back in the day.
But it was really cool because you could like see like you had like a little cell phone in the corner that you would like click, and then you could see like which of your friends were online and like call them and like invite them over to your house.
And it was like, if you like enjoyed Animal Crossing,
It was like that.
kind of like that back
Yeah.
then. You could like, the amount of decorating you could do was endless, and like you didn't have like, really, I don't think any rules when it came to expanding.
Yeah.
Like my house has like 50 rooms. Like you could just keep adding on and on and on and on onto your map, and then you see like you open up a map of your house and it's just all these like squares just like all connected.
Oh, but it was so good. It even like, I feel like what's so funny to me too is even our mom played.
Yes.
Yeah, like
She saw us playing some of the games, and she was like,
she's like, ooh, that looks like fun.
that looks like fun.
So she like got like herself one, and then like made her own account, and then would like come and like play games with us, which was really fun.
Really cute. Because they had one that was basically just like Candy Crush before Candy Crush was a thing.
Yeah,
Let's be honest.
it's called Cash Cow.
Yeah.
Or something like
Cash
that.
Cow.
Wasn't it called that?
Yes. Also, was the Chihuahua problematic?
Did he wear a sombrero?
Yeah. There was a Chihuahua game, and he would be like, ay, caramba. And he'd catch candy
No, okay.
and tacos.
Is
in his
it
hat.
problematic, or was it representation?
I'm crying. I mean, I don't think I was offended when I was a kid. I was like, ooh, treats. He catch snack.
Yeah.
Chihuahua catch the treats in his hat.
I forgot about that, honestly.
Oh, but there was also one of my favorite online games. They added something called, I believe it's called the gaming Webkinz Arena, and you could compete with people online in games.
That's right.
And they had a fashion one where they would give you just a random mix of outfit pieces. So you'd get like a top, a bottom, and like an accessory, and you would have to pick based off what they gave you and put an outfit together. And then there were these like judges. Which were just like computers, like AIs, that would like give you a score and feedback, and then like rank like
it was so much fun.
Who won each round. And you could like trash talk the other competitor.
Yeah, it was so good. Oh my gosh, that game was so fun.
That was like my favorite.
That was iconic.
That's when I was also probably like pushing, like getting a little too old for playing Webkinz, so to speak.
I mean,
but
I don't think you're too old. Yeah, it was just games.
It was just
a game.
I was
like it's just chill.
In 8th grade or something like that. But it was so fun. Oh my gosh! But my first Webkinz, you mentioned you got the dog. My first Webkinz I got while I was actually sick, home from school for like I can't remember exactly what I had, but it was like back-to-back things, and I was like out of school for like a week and a half, and so somebody like gave me like a little care package with a little black bear that I named Franklin, Franklin
cute.
the bear, and he was just like this little cutie. When I first opened it up, I made him as like his room, like we talked about, and I was just like, oh yeah.
Why in my brain did I name my dog Sandy?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Sandy and Franklin. That's what got us addicted.
The way though, when I say we were addicted to these things, like
I don't think you're ready.
we had like I'm not joking. Like we counted one time and Megan looks like she grabbed the problematic chihuahua.
Well, he's not, but like the game.
The game, yeah. The poodle. They are like the cutest. I remember this one. This one was like, I'm holding like this, like, it's not a unicorn because it doesn't have a horn.
It's just like a magical pony.
But it's just like a magical pony, and she is the moment. She is so cute. I love it. Is that a pig?
Which one? Yes, I have a pig here. I have a magical
we have two
pony.
of the magical ponies. They're twins.
I have. This is giving me the warm fuzzies right now, just like bringing all of these out again. There's so many.
There's so many more,
oh my
too.
Gosh. That was the one thing that, like, Club Penguin didn't have the accessories.
Yeah.
But it was free compared to Webkinz, so that was nice.
Yes, it was free.
And honestly, like, you really just needed, like, one pet to, like, get into the game.
You didn't have to keep buying.
We were just obsessed.
We were just...
And they knew what they were doing.
They 100%
knew what they were doing.
I am surprised, though, that these ones that have tags on them still say $9.95. In my mind, they were like $25 a piece.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Inflation.
Yeah, and they add up quickly, and it depends on what location you get them from.
Also... They had special edition ones.
Oh, that's where they get you. Just like American Girl doll. They're like, limited time only. You got to get it.
Honestly, predatory.
Honestly, with the gambling too that they got us addicted to, the wishing well.
I wonder if I could try to use my code, since we still have a code, to get back into my account.
They probably they're expired already. Like if you use the code
it says,
once.
Please keep this tag. It is your key in case you forget your password.
Maddie's logging on to Webkinz tonight. We're going to be
If they
in the
didn't delete my
clubhouse.
account, they may have deleted my account.
So we mentioned earlier the clubhouse and how people, if they went in there and they were saying things like F you, they get banned right away. And I may have some experience with being banned on multiple online games, starting with the clubhouse on Webkinz.
Is that where it began? Your bannings?
I think so, followed by Club Penguin. It was like in the same era. It was all happening around the same time.
Were you okay?
But I was okay. I think I was just like a little troublemaker because I wouldn't go in and just, I would play like the long game.
Yeah.
I would just be weird and see how long it took for someone to
report you.
Report me.
Yeah.
Literally, this is me. They probably thought I was a 40-year-old man being predatory. I'm a 12-year-old girl that just learned about puberty and things like this, and I think it's like hilarious to talk about. So I'm going in there and I'm like, hey. And I'm also, mind you,
what character? She's going in as the Google, which, as we described, is very problematic looking.
I'm going in as the Google. And Webkinz had swimsuits.
Yeah.
So they had bikinis. And I would put my Google just in swimsuit bottoms. So he's rocking like a Speedo look.
Yeah.
Okay? It was very, very, very French. Very European. I don't know.
Yeah, very European.
He was going in with a little, just bottom piece on. And I would just go in and be normal. And then I'd be like, hey, who's coming over to hot tub. But actually, I just remembered
She did have a hot
crucial
tub.
detail. I would have my Google fully dressed,
Yeah.
but you could change them while you were in the clubhouse. So
So she would start changing.
I would start changing, and then I'd put on just the bottoms.
And then she'd say, who wants to come hot tub?
So yeah, I feel like
She was
if you're
stripping.
moderating,
She was stripping in the clubhouse as the Google, asking other little kids if they want to come to her hot tub at her house.
and I feel like if you're a moderator, an adult watching this, you're like, this person is literally a 40-year-old and they're a pervert. And
Now, did you ever
I mean, I was a pervert, but I was 12.
Did you ever get banned from Webkinz, like
No,
the
just
website?
banned from the clubhouse. I never did anything bad enough to like. I knew how
Get
to play the
kicked
game.
off.
Same with Club Penguin. I would just be weird.
I feel like that's a pretty good rundown of our experience. And honestly, the thing that sticks out most to me is you being a weirdo in the clubhouse.
The thing that sticks out most to me is all of the babysitting money that I spent on Webkinz, and the fact that I still hold on to all of them because
Honestly, you
maybe
can't
we
get
should
rid of
unpack
we
that
can't
as
get
a-
rid of we can't get rid of them.
I spent too much money.
I spent too much money.
I
Yeah.
spent too much money. They're here. Don't tell Cooper. I mean, now he knows. They're in a drawer. I have all of them. All of them.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, I think it's a great time to transition over to Club Penguin, which
We all know that one.
ooh, that one was good. That one was good. I pray they bring it back someday.
It would kill.
It would kill.
We don't have to have the live chatting. I mean, because people are terrible online.
So yeah,
deal
but
with
Club
online
Penguin
games.
also had like live chatting where you could like type in whatever you wanted, and it was just like a wholesome community. I absolutely
Unless you were
loved.
me.
Huh?
What?
What?
I said, unless you were me.
Oh yeah. I had like 6 boyfriends. Though. Like I really did. I had relationships on there.
That's the thing. You'd have your people and they'd come over to your igloo.
Yeah.
Oh, do you remember the Puffles though?
Oh my gosh, the Puffles.
That's what they were called, right? And
right? Yeah, I think so.
continue your story while I look this up.
The way that I like thrived on Club Penguin, like I thought I was like the ish, like I felt more edgy on there than I did on Webkinz. Like I would have like every time I'd go online, I'd go to the Club Penguin Club, and I'd go
You
like
could dance.
yeah, I'd go dance and then like be like, hey, you want to be my boyfriend? And like I had like 6 boyfriends. I'm not even joking. And then I would like hope that they weren't all online at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like I was trying to catch them in different time zones, you know?
She knew how to work it.
I was trying to be strategic.
You were like hanging out at the igloo with one of them. The other one comes over. You're like,
Like,
hey,
oh, hey.
we were just
This
he's
is just my
helping-
friend.
My friend was helping me with the Puffles.
I just needed someone to watch the Puffles.
I was just showing him how to take care of them while I'm going out of town with you, baby.
With you, of course. Remember a trip?
Our ski trip,
The
our
pizza
surfing
shop.
trip? The pizza shop, the pizza shop.
The dates at the pizza shop.
Yes, that's where you would have him.
Yeah.
You're so right.
Oh my gosh. Just like waddling around like town. Oh my gosh. Just so good. I'm trying to remember some of the games. I
The
loved
surfing game.
Yes, the surfing game. I
Shoot
love
the tube. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. I loved the one where when you were in the club and then you'd go up the stairs. There was like a hallway or
Yes.
stairs or something.
It's
And then
starting to
up
come
there
back
they
to
had
me.
like arcade games.
Yes.
And then I'd play the one where you like jump on the ice and it like breaks and you have to like make the path or something like that. I can't remember. It was like an icebreaker or something
That sounds
like
very familiar.
Oh my gosh, I loved that game.
The only one that really stuck with me was the surfing one. I think I spent hours doing it, and I feel like no, I'm mixing that up with Webkinz. There's this music in a specific game. It wasn't surfing, but it was snow sledding in Webkinz, the polar plunge or something.
Yes.
And I could hear that music over and over in my head. And
But there was a skiing
there was,
in Club Penguin.
of course, there was.
Yeah.
It's like ice and snow. That makes sense.
But yeah, I mean, with Club Penguin, I feel like I never really got into like decorating my igloo very much.
Neither did I. Not as much as like Webkinz. Like
But-
the decor was more of a thing in that one for me.
Yeah. Club Penguin was more about like being out on the town, you know?
Yeah, yeah, being
Being
seen.
out, being
Okay,
seen. The
Being-
outfits. I just spit. Goodbye.
The fits.
The fits, though. There were some fun fits because I remember there was like wigs and stuff. Do you remember that?
I forgot.
I forgot about it. Yeah.
Webkinz, please. See, Webkinz was my
Has a
main game.
chokehold.
Webkinz seriously has chokehold on me still. Club Penguin is like one of those games like still feels kind of fever dreamish.
Yes.
Like it's like it comes back to me in like little waves, like
like
small,
little flashes,
little
like
flashes.
memories.
Yes, I'm like little images. I'm like, yes, the pizza shop when you said that, the dating, yes, the puffles. For me, it was collecting all the puffles that I could have.
Oh, they were so cute.
Yeah.
I loved them all. There was also a game that was like a puffle wrangler where you had to like wrangle
Oh
all
my
the puffles.
gosh, yes. So good. Was this like I don't know. Was this international? Like was everyone?
Club Penguin?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Was it like just people in the States like playing it, or like
anyone who's not
did you play
based
Club
in
Penguin?
the States? Do you know what Club Penguin is? And did you play?
Was this familiar?
Because in my mind, my boyfriends were international.
They're like, he told me he was from he's British and that he was Australian. And
But yeah, let us know. I need to know. You could also just Google it, but you know.
yeah, please let us know.
We want to hear from you.
Now, aside from like these like online games where you could like hang out and chat, there were like the solo games you would go online for. And I don't know. Okay, where do we begin? I kind of maybe want to start with Barbie online.
Yes.
Like there was a babysitting game where you had to take
Yes.
care of like baby Chrissy.
Yes.
I don't know why I was obsessed with that one.
Yeah.
That to me, that's the only Barbie game that's like still up here. in
Yeah.
my brain.
I remember that one too. Yeah.
And then My Scene.
Yes.
They were so cool.
They were so cool.
Was that like their response to Bratz, by the way? The city girl, like, not that like Bratz are like city girls, but they definitely had like a whole different aesthetic going on, and which honestly, an aesthetic that I thrive to be.
I know
is
their
Bratz.
aesthetic is everything.
But the My Scene girls had like their own games, and I feel like they were more like narrative driven,
Yeah.
which was
I
kind
do
of
remember
interesting.
that, yeah.
It was like a short-lived little narrative game.
Yeah.
We probably should have looked all this up before this. I thought I would remember way more about My Scene and things like that when we were discussing it. The baby Chrissy one, I just see her big
At
head.
the Barbie, yeah.
Yeah.
Her
Like
big
feeding
head.
her.
Please, have the
That's
big
like the only thing that
head.
sticks with me.
I'm trying to think. The other one that I don't know if you played, and I'm trying to remember all of it, but it was like called like Star Doll
Star
or something. Yeah.
Which honestly, kind of weird because not weird. You would Star Doll was like a paper doll, but online. But you could dress celebrities.
Yeah.
So it's cool because you could like pick pieces from like their closet, like you know pieces you've seen them wear like on red carpets and stuff.
Mhm.
But I was thinking about this, like they had them like in their underwear. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they're
Like,
like paper dolls.
They're
You're
paper
dressing
dolls.
them, yeah.
I didn't think anything of it as a kid, but like because they're like depicting real people,
It's kind of weird, yeah.
it feels like a little like invasion of privacy,
Yeah.
kind of like I don't know. Like here's this celebrity in their underwear.
You're
And you're
cool.
like, cool. Here's Zac Efron and some and his just this little chones.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Good
Like,
look.
I thought what? I just like was thinking about this though recently. I was like, when you're a kid, it's like whatever. Like you know,
Yeah, you don't think about it.
I wasn't thinking about it at all. But looking back, I was like, oh, like were those people like were you
Okay with
craving
that?
this? Yeah.
Was that like cool? Was that chill?
I mean, they're like 2D versions of themselves. Okay,
Yeah.
we're not talking about like where like AI
Like
is today
realism,
and, like,
yeah.
terrifying and violating, but like you know they're just like a little 2D version of themselves. So maybe because it's like kind of like their likeness, but not totally. But they definitely wear their names on there.
Yeah, that's so weird. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Bro.
Anyone else play Stardoll?
Yeah.
Neopets was one that
Neopets, yeah.
I only dabbled in
barely dabbled in.
because again,
Yeah.
this Webkinz.
Webkinz had our entire hearts and souls.
Which how do we not talk about the curio shop in Webkinz?
Oh.
Welcome to Curio Shop. Hope you find
My
what you're
jaw just
looking
popped.
for.
Hope you find what you're looking for. I totally forgot about that.
The Curio Shop was this area you could visit in Webkinz where there was an old golden retriever. I believe his name was Artie. Like
Sure, I'd buy
artifacts,
it.
you know?
Yeah.
Because his whole thing was he had like special artifacts.
Special items, yeah.
Special items that you could buy. But also, you could go mining for gems once a day.
Yeah.
At the
heck
Curio
yeah.
Shop. So you'd pick like which mine you were going to visit. And then you would get like 3 stone options that you could choose, or rocks, sorry, that you could like hit and see if you got a stone.
Yeah.
So over time, you would collect these stones.
Yeah.
And eventually, if you got one of each one, you would get like the coveted Webkinz crown.
Yeah.
And I may have gotten a couple of those. Because again, I spent all my time Playing Webkinz.
Iconic. Yeah, I
Wear that to
forgot
the
about
clubhouse.
that.
Roll up to the clubhouse
Roll
in your
up to the
Webkinz crown.
clubhouse with her crown and her chones.
What do you know about it?
With her Google. And his chones and wearing a crown. Oh my gosh.
Another honorable mention that we touched on, like, with our deep dive on American Girl doll, but the American Girl doll website was also iconic.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I just remember the parlor game with like Samantha, or like Samantha's game. Like,
yes.
it was kind of like a, I don't want to say like mystery, but
yeah,
it
but like
felt,
a point and click, like kind of mystery game, and you had to like do different activities.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe like I feel like there was something like where you were in the kitchen putting together like a lemon blueberry
pound cake or something.
pound cake. Yeah, and you're like click on the blueberries.
Yeah,
or find the blueberries, like find the ingredients, and you like click around. I could
honestly
be totally
fun.
making that up, but that's how it plays out in my brain. ROMs, if you know, okay. If you don't know what a CD-ROM is, let me, Ma, tell you about it. Okay, a CD-ROM, which what does that even? What does CD stand for? Compact disc. Thank you. A little. I mean, you probably know what it is because let's be
like
honest.
DVD. Yeah.
These are coming back. I feel like cassettes and CDs are like cool again. Okay, so it was like a little round disc, like a DVD, and you would have a game on it. So you would load it up in your PC, click it, like the computer eats it up, and then I'm assuming it spins in there or does something.
It's got to do something.
Doing something with lasers. Who knows?
Lasers. Laser beams. He was shooting laser beams out of his eyes.
It might actually be like laser disc.
You know that's
that a thing? No.
That quote?
He was shooting laser beams out of his eyes?
Yeah.
That Monsters Inc.
Yeah. Yeah, you got it. I knew you.
They're talking about Boo.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Random movie quotes are going to be something that you hear a lot here on the Fuzzy Pod.
If you haven't already picked up on that. But yeah, so then you put in the disc and then do you like download it? I feel like you have to like download
the game itself, probably to your computer. But we were huge Tycoon fans.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorites was, of course, Zoo Tycoon.
Zoo Tycoon, yeah.
And we played it recently on our stream, Cooper and I. But we played Zoo Tycoon 2. Mm-hmm. And I was disappointed because one of my favorite features of Zoo Tycoon was, again, clearly, I liked to cause chaos as a kid. And I would take down the fence of some of my most predatory animals. Like the tigers, the lions, and, the dinosaurs. And I'd let them loose and see what happens. I'd just take a fence down and watch chaos ensue. There used to be kind of a wink to the Jurassic Park movies where the dinosaurs would rip the top off of the restrooms.
Yeah.
And the people would just be sitting in there.
Yeah.
Zoo Tycoon 2, the game we played online, did not have that.
Yeah, that's boring.
It was so boring. But the animals still fought each other if they didn't blend well. Like, we put some animals together I thought would do okay.
Like who? Like what?
Like a jaguar and a cheetah or something.
What? Why would you think they would do okay together?
I don't know. We were just on stream. Let's be honest. I still wanted to see a little bit of chaos. I was curious how it would play out.
Oh my gosh.
And one of them ate the other. And that happened with the dinosaurs too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I came back and the dinosaur, it was like, dinosaur 2 is dead. And I was like, what?
What happened?
And I just see carcass. Literally, the game did have a carcass, though.
That's hilarious.
Like,
I love those games. They're so fun.
But the Zoo Tycoon games were so fun. And then Mall Tycoon.
Oh my gosh.
You recently played Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah, we played Roller Coaster Tycoon. Yeah.
Is there chaos that you can do in that? I feel like I've heard that.
Oh, yeah. You can have the people like run off the track.
Please.
Yeah.
You just don't finish it and you're like, it's open.
It's open. Oh my gosh. And people are, I feel like, vomiting everywhere and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh.
People throw trash on the ground, even when there's like a trash can right there. It's so annoying.
Please. They're like, guest 5 can't find trash can, and like just litter and stuff.
Then I would get mad, like looking at the guest thoughts. I'm like, why are you complaining? And then we had like
that's my favorite.
Had these little like paddle boat things, like like the ones where you like go into like the swans.
Yeah.
Okay. The people were getting lost on them. Like they didn't know how to get back. And so then they would just be stuck in the little pond.
And then
like,
die out on the pond. On the
way. And I'm like, it's not my fault. I'm sorry. It's not my fault. You're stupid.
That is like one of the best features of the Tycoon game, I think, like as an adult, that I think is even more funny, is being able to like, you can see what your guests are thinking about your park. And it's hysterical.
It's so good. And it was so funny because like Ted and I played Roller Coaster Tycoon on our stream. We didn't play Zoo Tycoon, but we played Roller Coaster Tycoon. And I'm in here like being like, all right, we got to market our business. So I'm like, we're gonna run this campaign for this amount of time, and then we're gonna do this campaign, and then we're gonna do a promotion for this, and then we're gonna
making plans. Okay, you're gonna see this business succeed. 5 stars. 5
and
stars.
we did. It did. I'm proud of it.
She put her business degree to work in Roller Coaster Tycoon,
and I will say our business did have a dip. Like we were like, I don't know if we're gonna make it. We might have to close our doors, and then
people are dying out on the lake.
People are dying on the lake, and it's not my fault. And they're hungry, and I put plenty of food stands, and they're just choosing not to pay the money. So, not my fault if they die. I can't help it if they go into the forest where there's undeveloped territory and they die.
Please,
I can't help you.
Funny. Do you remember some of the deep cut ROMs? Like we had a Pocahontas game.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
There was games with the little hummingbird. I feel like we had maybe a Lion King one, and also one that taught us Spanish. But the one that taught us Spanish, all I remember is it had the mascot of it was this big bunny. And he taught you Spanish, and it was so fun. I tried looking for it recently, and I was struggling. And I was kind of low key
low key, that would be fun to play now.
I want to play that again.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn Spanish again.
Yeah,
I'll start with Spanish 1 with this bunny teaching me.
It'd be so
It's probably
fun.
so basic though. It's probably
Azul.
1, uno.
Yeah.
Wait, get out of my head. I was thinking that first.
Yeah,
I was thinking blue.
That's what comes in my mind. There was
colors.
a specific
There
game.
was the paint.
Yes.
And it was it would show a where you would put your paint colors onto. There's a name for it.
Oh,
the
a
little tray.
palette?
Like a palette, yeah. And you would be able to click on each one, and it would say it out loud in Spanish what color it was. Amarillo.
Amarillo. Yeah, I really remember that. Amarillo.
Rojo.
Rojo.
Or is it roja? I think it's rojo. I think it's O. Is red in Spanish rojo?
Ojos. Ojo is eyes.
That's eye. That's eyes. Rojo is red. Roja. No, it sounds like rojo.
I think it's rojo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it right the first time. Yeah. Yeah. It's paying off. That ROM I played.
Amarillo. Azul.
Azul. We know
Verde.
basic Spanish.
Blanco.
Are you impressed?
Is blanco? That's not white.
Yeah, it's white. Oh my gosh. There was just so many, many good games.
How the name for white is just blank.
Yeah. Blanco.
Blanco.
Blank. Plain.
Plain.
Basic.
Oh wow, that is a deep cut. I forgot about that one.
That was a really deep cut game. Speaking of the RPCs, this is just a little story. I was talking about how they were in a common area, so our parents could always see what we were doing and playing online. But somehow they missed my Webkinz shenanigans. But there was one time, my best friend who was also lived up the street, was visiting for a little sleepover, and we're hanging out on the computer, and we were going to go. I don't even remember what website we were trying to get to. She was trying to type something in, and somehow I don't even know what happened. It was maybe 1 or 2 letters off. She pressed enter. The next thing I know that is on my computer screen is just skin, blonde hair, nakedness.
I think that was at her house. This is at our house?
This is at our house. I start screaming because I'm like, I don't know, there's so much happening on the computer. Instead of just trying to exit out of the tab, I unplugged the entire computer.
She throws the computer out the window.
I grabbed behind it, and I was so bad for it. I turned it off. I yanked it out, and we were both screaming. And then we sat there and we're just in silence, staring at each other. We're okay, so if we turn it back on, will it still be there?
Yeah,
it was not
good.
But I just remember, I was it escalated so quickly because it was just boop.
Oh my gosh, I feel I had a similar experience like that too but I was alone, and it was worse because
it's
it
funny
was
with a friend. You're
yeah,
we
it was
came across porn.
Yeah, but it was some sort of online thing. I think I was just trying to download Skype or something, and it was literally I remember, this is so bad.
Trying to type in Skype and you typed in something totally different. You're
but it was all these messages started popping up. No pictures, thankfully, but it was just them
Pop-ups.
saying gross things.
Oh my gosh, you're exit all these.
Yes,
Was
and
it
I was And I was like, what is this? What just happened?
It feels like your whole computer is like a virus or something.
I was like, ah! Not the computer viruses. Oh my gosh.
Any other online games that stuck with you? Because I feel like you mentioned one that...
Toontown.
Oh, I didn't play a ton of Toontown.
We played a little bit of Toontown.
You know what? I played
because you did play a lot of Toontown.
I played Toontown, no, before Webkinz.
That's what it was. I remember you playing Toontown for sure.
Because I the only reason I remember that is because of where we were living at the time when I played Toontown. Was the house before I started playing Webkinz. So that's why it was like this other like upstairs common area computer. And I didn't play a ton of Toontown.
I like distinctly remember you playing it.
Maybe because you were like 4 and time feels like it moves forever when you're that age.
4.
No, genuinely, it was the first house that we were in. I can look up what year Toontown came out. You played Toontown.
Toontown.
How much Toontown did you play though? You played a ton of
I played more Toontown like than you probably eventually. But then recently, and this was like probably 2 years ago, so Toontown shut down. But then someone made like a Toontown rewritten. I play like on my Mac actually.
Oh my gosh, is it still out?
Yeah, it's still there. You can download it. And like it's online. Like there's people online playing it.
By the way, it came out in 2003. So we were at the house I was thinking of.
Okay.
And I don't think that I played very long. I would have been 9. I'm certain this time. I would have been 9 turning 10 that year.
Yeah. So I would have been like 6.
And I had a monkey.
Yeah, I remember the monkey, yeah.
He was purple, and his name was Dinky.
Yeah.
And that was my Toontown character. I couldn't tell you anything about that game.
That game's so fun. We should all play.
I would totally play it.
Yeah.
Because I'll just remake Dinky again.
Yeah, exactly.
He had a little green t-shirt.
Like a crop top, right?
Crop top. Yeah. He was Winnie the Pooh in it, you know?
Yeah. We love to see it.
But he literally, that's all I remember of Toontown. Like, so what did you do in the game?
So you like go around and you have like different like missions, but there's these like cog guys, like these businessmen that are coming in and trying to like take over Toontown.
Oh,
and so you have to like fight them.
They're trying to bring in like the big corporations.
Yeah.
They're trying to like add like all these like businesses that aren't like
So
with
then
no character.
Yeah, so then you're like fighting the cogs.
Sounds
and you'll like
familiar.
walk around and you have like gags. So you'll have like, that's like your weapon. So you'll have like
Pies.
a pie. Yeah.
I remember throwing pies.
Or like a clown like
flower.
That squirts water.
We gotta play this
It's
again.
so fun.
Okay, yes.
It's actually really fun still.
I would love to do that.
And we've already tested downloading it, and so we know there's no viruses. But
You said that there was a fever dream game for you that you remember that no one remembers. So maybe you'll find your people if you talk about it here.
Which
it
one?
was called Pop Tropica, you said.
Oh my gosh. I almost forgot about that. Okay. If you're out there and you've heard of this game, it's called Pop Tropica. You are like this little 2D character that kind of has like a big head and you kind of like walk around like weird. And like everyone has like a unique looking character and you kind of have like a big head and like an oval head. I don't even know. It's weird looking. But just Google it, Pop Tropica. And it was like an online game that like you just like ran around this city and I don't even know what the point of it was. Like I think there was like little mini games and stuff like that.
Virtual world for kids to travel, play games, compete in head-to-head competitions.
Yeah, and it was like,
oh my gosh, you weren't kidding. They literally, I mean, head-to-head, have big heads.
Yeah. And I spent so much time playing that game. But I don't know how I found it. Literally nobody else remembers it but me.
Pop Tropica. Why does it feel like it's sponsored by like Pop-Tarts or something secretly?
It probably was, honestly. But like, it was fire. I enjoyed it.
That's awesome.
So I don't know.
I have no recollection of that game. Like
you
at
were probably older. When did it come out? Does it say?
Pop Tropica.
Yeah, but anyway, so if anyone remembers that game or played it, let me know because I am tired of being alone.
Pop Tropica released in 2007.
Okay, so it was around what is with all these games coming out at the same time? Well,
2005
Webkinz
were
and
the
Club
other two.
Penguin were 2005,
Yeah.
but they like hit their peak in like 2007 from what I read. So, anyways, yeah. I was playing lots of online games.
2007 was the year to be online
The
for
year
games.
to be alive for games.
Oh my gosh, online games were thriving.
Oh my goodness.
Do you remember a Polly Pocket game existing online?
Sounds vaguely familiar.
I swear she was like living pop star dreams or something.
Okay.
The way that these just like, come up and just like little like
Yes.
these like little memories just kind of slowly pop up. Do you play Dreamlight Valley?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a game that came out from Disney. I think just like this last year.
Yeah, just last year. Yeah.
Called Disney Dreamlight Valley, and it is basically kind of like an Animal Crossing meets Stardew Valley, but with all your Disney character friends.
Mm-hmm.
But within the game, you're trying to retrieve memories because a lot of people have forgotten things, and so you'll randomly come across these little orbs that are like little fragments of a memory, and that's what I feel like talking about these video games is like.
Yeah, it's just like a fragment of a memory.
It's like all starting to piece together. It's like, oh yes,
Dude,
yes, I remember.
Speaking of that game, Mickey Mouse freaks me out in that game.
Oh, he's just always just
He's always like,
behind you at
yeah,
any
he comes
moment.
up behind you. Also,
There were many times in Dreamlight Valley where it would be like pouring rain outside, and Mickey would just be standing outside in the rain,
Yeah.
and being like, "Where's Minnie?" And I'm like, "Are you good?
Are you okay? He's like,
Oh, I don't know where Minnie is." I was convinced that he did a murder to her in that game for a second.
murder.
I was like,
Yeah,
he was
the
like,
game. Spoilies. Like you get Mickey first. Like he comes back to the like island. Let's just call it the island. And the valley. Sorry, that's what it is. And he's like, oh, like I'm trying to find Minnie. Like all I have is her bow. And then you'll like, my game glitched, by the way. You'll be like running around your valley and you'll just see like traces of her.
yes,
And it'll be like in like sparkles and it'll be
Yes.
like her outline. And you're like, oh, she's close. Like she's close to coming back.
Yes.
Like I have to do these like things, these tasks to get her to come back. And my game glitched. And so like she was stuck by like a pond.
no,
And like I kept having to like reset the game. And like it took me like a week before it finally like resolved itself
Please.
and where I could like retrieve her.
when Minnie Mouse decided, like I finally got her, she like didn't even take a picture with me or anything. She just like was like, or say thank you. And I was
Honestly,
like,
rude.
what happened here? Anyways, so clearly video games are still a huge part of our life, specifically like online games.
Yeah.
And
We never let them go.
we never let them go. Our taste in games has evolved and changed over time. But our love for online games and honestly all video games is still going strong.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, you can follow us on Twitch.
Yeah.
Megan and Cooper TV and Storybrooks. But for real, thank you so much for listening and letting us just, I mean, that's what this pod is all about. Just, delving into the things of our
Reliving, yeah.
childhood. Reliving it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Truly. We're holding our
Truly,
Webkinz.
we're literally holding our Webkinz still.
Our Webkinz are in our hands. There's a nice comfort right here. And we want to hear from you. And what were some of your favorite games growing
Yeah.
up?
What games did you play growing up?
We didn't even talk about like the impossible quiz.
There's
and all
so many
those-
things.
There's so many. There was a whole world of online games.
Yeah.
So we'd love to hear from
What
you guys.
Yeah.
What you're liking on our Instagram
Yeah.
at the Fuzzy Pod.
If you liked this episode, give us a like, a comment, review,
Rating.
subscribe, rating, all the things. Follow.
And we'll see you next week for another Fuzzy Friday. Bye.
Bye.